Hello, SEMO, and welcome to Hawk's Nest. I'm Molly Faust, here with Kyler Messenger and Tryston Doobie. Today we're going to start off with a little baseball update, then we're going to talk about softball, and finally we're going to wrap up talking about the tennis OVC tournament. All that and more on this week's Hawk's Nest. First up, SEMO baseball star pitcher Andrew Carroll just got OVC Pitcher of the Week, and baseball is sitting at 10-5 OVC currently. Tryston, what's up with that?
Yeah, guys, Andrew Carroll, like you were saying, not to be confused with Corbin Carroll from the Diamondbacks, the outfielder. That's actually what I said a few minutes ago. But Andrew Carroll, get the first name right. Like you were saying, Molly, SEMO baseball currently on a tear. They're at 10-5 in the conference, sitting at third place with a record of 29-12 overall. So SEMO baseball rolling, looking to get back to like the playoff tournament this year, make a run there. Despite being third place, they're only one game behind SIUE and Little Rock, who are sitting in first place. So they're right where they want to be in the hunt for that first place. Last night, actually, they played rival Southern Illinois, beat them 5-1. And then last week, they had a game against Murray State. No joke of a team at all. Run-ruled them, beat them 12-1, guys. So SEMO baseball really on a roll. But like you were saying, what I want to get into is a star pitcher for this Red Hawks, the fuel in the engine, who is Andrew Carroll, guys. After a dominant performance against Lindenwood on April 3rd, he won co-pitcher of the week in the OVC. So Andrew Carroll keeps chugging this team along. Like I said, fuel in the tank. He's getting lots of wins. He had that honor, the recognition through a complete game shutout against Lindenwood, going all 9 innings and allowing just 3 hits in one of the Red Hawks' strongest pitching performances this year. Carroll said, obviously my pitching's good. I got the co-pitcher of the week, all of that. But he said, hey guys, it's all about the defense behind me. And that's really surprising. This team has 25 transfer players. 25 transfer players that all have to mesh together in just 1 year, and that defense behind him is already so stout that, wow, for him to be crediting that, the team that already meshed together that quick, that's definitely saying something about the coaching and the team itself. Carroll is actually one of the JUCO transfers. Many of those 25 transfers are from the junior college level. He spent 2 seasons at Kirkwood Community College, where he racked up 150 strikeouts and developed into a really reliable pitcher. And this year at SEMO, he's 6-1, guys, so far. Very solid record. Doesn't let up a lot of runs, obviously, if you're winning six out of your 7 games. His ability to control the strike zone and lean on the defense is really what makes him such a good pitcher. And that's why he won co-pitcher of the week, and they're going to need him going forward if they want to make a run, guys.
For sure. Thanks, Tryston. Next up, we're going to head on over to the softball field for a little update from Kyler.
Yeah, thank you, Molly. Tryston, you talked about the SEMO baseball team, how they're being led by a bunch of transfers. Actually, the leader on their team in batting average, Dakota Joggers, a transfer from Truman State. You head over to the softball field, their leading batter in average is Camden Hutton, a transfer from Texas State. So it's a whole new game of college sports. Let's talk about this SEMO softball team right now. They're 14-28 heading into this episode where we are right now midweek. They're 14-28, 10-10 in the OVC, a perfect even in the OVC. Before last weekend, guys, they were 10-7 in the OVC, though. They just recently dropped the series to Lindenwood, 0-3. It was a bad 3 losses for SEMO. If you remember with us last episode, SEMO was coming off a very hot weekend in which they took down the number 1 seeded in the OVC, Eastern Illinois Panthers, by a series score of 2-1. This week, they come into the series with Lindenwood in 4th place in the OVC and Lindenwood in 6th place. Lindenwood sweeps SEMO, guys. SEMO now drops to 6th in the OVC. Lindenwood themselves heads up to 4th. Heading into the Lindenwood series. Now, Lindenwood is a new team to the OVC. They joined the OVC in 2023. They're a new Division I program. They're new to the OVC. SEMO was 9-1 in softball against Lindenwood in history heading into the weekend. They dropped all 3 games. SEMO now 9-4 against Lindenwood softball all times. They dropped the first game 3-7. And for SEMO, Lily Delmain, the freshman who has moved herself into the top of the lineup, she bats leadoff, She plays center field, and she also hits home runs. She had a 2-run home run in the 3rd inning to put SEMO up 2-0. But then Kylie Crowder of Lindenwood hit a grand slam against the Redhawks. That's right, a grand slam happened at SEMO, but it was against SEMO. Lindenwood won the first game 7-3. They won the second game against SEMO 5-0. They held SEMO to only 4 hits, a complete shutout. In the 3rd game, it was tied 3-3 heading into the 7th inning, guys. It looked like SEMO was going to steal one on Lindenwood. You head into the top of the 7th. Willow Van Haren, who pitched both the doubleheader games. So how SEMO softball works, you play 2 doubleheader games on a Saturday and you play 1 game on Sunday. Van Haren pitched in both games in relief on Saturday, then started and threw all 7 innings on Sunday. So she's a little bit tired heading into the 7th, gives up a few hits. Lindenwood scored 3 runs, and that was history after that. They won the 3rd game on Sunday 6-3. SEMO being led by their freshman Lily Delmain as well as their junior transfer Camden Hutton, who leads this team in batting average with a .333 average. SEMO upcoming has a series against Morehead State on the weekend when this episode will release. They'll be playing in Morehead, Kentucky against the Eagles, and then their final home series will be for our finals week. It'll be May 1st and May 2nd. They got a doubleheader on a Friday this time, and then the single game on Saturday. That'll be their last home game. So make sure you see us at the Southeast Softball Complex. SEMO softball, looking to turn it around.
Thanks, Kyler. Looking forward to it. All right, next up, we are going to talk about tennis. SEMO women's tennis finished off their OVC run this week, and I've got updates in chronological order. Tennis finished up their regular season on April 11th against Tennessee State in Nashville, destroying the competition 7-0. This was a positive start to send them off to the OVC tournament shortly after. Then, Mia Mayorova earned Singles Player of the Week. This was announced on Tuesday, April 14th, after Mayorova had a 2-0 week right before. Mayorova was then named to the first team All-OVC, and Maha Bahurik was named to the second team All-OVC. Bahurik finished 2-2 in her OVC matches, and Mayorova finished 4-1. Now, the news you've been waiting for. How did the OVC tournament go last weekend? Well, SEMO Tennis traveled to St. Louis and beat Southern Indiana in a 4-0 sweep on Friday, April 17th, and this was a great start to OVC. Then the tennis team stuck around in St. Louis and went up against Bryant University at the Dwight D. Davis Tennis Center on April 18th. Unfortunately, SEMO's luck ran out and they lost the OVC semifinals 1-4. Little bit of a dull ending for SEMO Tennis after a season full of ups and downs, but overall, I'm happy to see the Redhawks did as well as they did, and as long as they had fun, then I'm happy. All right, that's all we have time for today. Make sure to follow at Southeast Arrow and at On Target Arrow on socials, and click the subscribe button below. I'm Molly Faust, here with
Kyler Messenger.
And Tryston Doobie.
Have a great week, SEMO.